And I also see a good M. Night Shyamalan movie.
I want to know.
Know what?
That I'm a freak.
Okay.
M. Night Shyamalan is an interesting filmmaker. I mean, I do admire the fact that he writes and directs all of his movies, and recently he's actually came out with some films that have been both well received by critics and audiences. The Visit, which was just a nice little horror comeback, and Split, which was just great. And then we got Glass, which was, well, it was kind of disappointing, I will admit, but more or less, it's alright. And yes, I'm completely aware that his filmography prior to all this weren't simply his best work. But there was a point in time where, no, out. But there was a point in time where the name M. Night Shyamalan put the words fear and suspense into people's minds. And today I'm going to be talking about the first ever film that got him into stardom, and that's The Sixth Sense. This film was an enormous hit when it came out in 1999. The same year where we got box office hits like Star Wars Episode 1 The Phantom Menace and even The Matrix. But no one expected a smaller film like this coming from an unknown director to make such a huge impact in becoming a pop culture phenomenon. The success of this film led it to become the second highest grossing film of the year, earning over $600 million at the box office and even being nominated for 6 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Director. Wait a minute, hold on. 6 nominations. 6 cents. I'm starting to see a pattern here. The film starts off with very successful child psychologist Malcolm Crowe, played by Bruce Willis. While one night coming back home with his wife after getting an award, a young man appears in their bathroom who turns out to be one of his old child patients who he treated for hallucinations. Feeling anxious and believing that he failed him as a doctor, he shoots Malcolm in the stomach and then takes his own life. We then cut to 1 year later with Malcolm trying to focus on a new child patient named Cole Caesar, played by Hayley Joel Osment, who says he has the ability to see dead people. This was my first ever M. Night Shyamalan film that I watched when I was a kid, and all I can say is, wow, this film is fantastic. The fact that this film did not win Best Picture was beyond me. But what M. Night was able to do here was not just create a ghost story movie, but something completely original that it makes it stands out from the rest of the others. The acting here is top notch. Bruce Willis is great in this film. You actually buy in with his character struggles, like him trying to look for redemption or trying to reconcile with his wife who has been silent to him for quite some time. Shyamalan actually wrote this character for Bruce Willis, and it fits just right. And for Hayley Joel Osment, oh my god, this kid stole the show. This is the best child performance in cinema history, and I'm not exaggerating from that. This kid literally feels like he is haunted and psychologically tortured for having this ability that no one else is able to see but him. Him getting nominated for Best Supporting Actor was well deserved. The other person who was also nominated for an Academy Award was Toni Collette as Cole's mom. I think she's a great actress in general, but in this film, she does not feel like an actress. She is legit a struggling mother who is having a difficult time trying to figure out what is wrong with her son. There is a bit of a psychological aspect to this film to where Malcolm tells Cole that maybe these ghosts are here because they're trying to solve their unsolved problems and that he must not run away from them but face them head on, which Cole is actually able to do later on in the film. We then get to the part where Cole and his mother are having a conversation in the car where he reveals to her about his ability and tells her how his grandma, her mom, comes by to see her every time. It is such an emotional scene, brilliantly written and acted coming from both actors. I don't really cry in movies. It takes a lot of something strong to make me get into the feels, but this scene in here delivers. And for those who have seen the movie, you know I cannot talk about this film without talking about the main thing that M. Night has always put in all of his films since this one, and that's the plot twist. But just real quick, I just want to give a huge spoiler warning to those who have not seen the film. This is going to cover something very huge and very changing in this film, I would say. And I do not want to ruin that experiences for you, because when I saw the movie for the first time, and before I could plug in the disc, my aunt spoiled the ending for me. That wasn't a fun time. And ever since then, when I watched it for the first time, I wasn't really able to be in awe because I had that spoiler already filled in while watching this movie along the way. So yeah. I mean, my aunt didn't know that I already watched the movie, so I forgave her, but then again, I love you, Thea. But that was just a bad moment. So for those who have not seen the movie and you don't want to be spoiled, then just follow the directions right here to where it says you can skip on the timeline and just watch the rest of the end of the video, that way to avoid spoilers. And I'll just give you a few seconds right now. Okay, and if you're still here, then let's continue. You've been warned. After being able to help Cole with his ability, Malcolm later comes home finding his wife asleep on the couch with her saying, "Why did you leave me?" and drops his wedding ring, which should have been on his hand the whole time, and then Malcolm comes to realize that he has been dead the whole time. The memory of Cole saying that they don't know that they're dead and him getting shot, this is probably, if not, the greatest twist in cinema history. If you rewatch this film, you can catch all the little tiny details, and it really does make sense. Cole is the only one that talks to him after getting shot. We are giving great camera shots where it makes it seem like he is talking to Cole's mom, but really, they weren't talking at all. Our mind makes us believe that they were having a conversation because of the way the camera was positioned. Even at the dinner scene with his wife, you notice his chair doesn't move at all when he sits in it. Or when he reaches over and tries to grab the bill, but his wife grabs it first and leaves saying happy anniversary. She wasn't saying that to him directly in person. She was mourning the loss of her husband through murder. And all this comes from brilliant direction coming from Shyamalan himself. The film doesn't end off in a scary ending feel like other ghost films, but instead his spirit says one last goodbye to his wife and then disappears into the light, ending the film. To this day, this is M. Night's best film to date. I love every moment of this film. I highly recommend it to people who have never seen the film. It was good back then in 1999, and it is now good to this date. The Sixth Sense gets a perfect 10 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Look forward to my final horror movie review on Halloween night, where I will be talking about The Conjuring for this year's October Madness. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, subscribe here to the channel for more content. And until then, I'll see you in the next video.